For years, they were just stories, whispers in the halls of the Pentagon and on the decks of aircraft carriers. They told of craft that could defy physics, appearing in our skies one moment, only to vanish beneath the waves the next. But this isn't just a story anymore. We have declassified footage. And now, the Navy pilots who saw these things, and even the admirals they reported to, are finally breaking their silence. What they're sharing is a secret that challenges everything we think we know, and has forced our own government to ask a terrifying question. What is operating in our oceans? We all know about UFOs, but there's an equally strange and much more mysterious phenomenon lurking in the crushing darkness of the deep. They're called USOs, Unidentified Submerged Objects. For decades, military personnel, from sailors on watch to pilots in the cockpit, have seen them. Mysterious craft that plunge into the ocean and move at speeds that shouldn't be possible. These aren't just blips on a radar that fade away. These are objects tracked moving from the sky into the sea, and sometimes right back out again. This has given rise to a new official term: transmedium objects. That ability to travel seamlessly between air and water is a technology we simply don't have. The fact that something else might has become one of the biggest national security questions of our time. In the early 2000s, reports from US Navy pilots started to skyrocket. They were running into strange objects almost daily during training exercises off the US coasts. The encounters got so frequent and so bizarre that they finally forced the government's hand. In 2020, the Department of the Navy stood up the UAP task force just to get a handle on it. That group eventually became a permanent office inside the Pentagon, tasked with figuring out what these things are. One of the highest-ranking officials to go on record is retired Rear Admiral Tim Gallaudet, who was once the oceanographer of the Navy. He finds the evidence for these transmedium craft compelling and has stressed how important ocean research is to understanding what's going on. Gallaudet and others worry that for too long, a stigma against reporting these encounters has left us dangerously in the dark. Some former officials even believe this stigma was created on purpose to bury the data. But it wasn't just about hiding a strange phenomenon. It was becoming a matter of life and death. The sheer number of these objects in military airspace was turning into a serious flight risk for our own pilots. So, what were they seeing that was so alarming? Maybe the most famous USO case in modern history happened back in November 2004, involving the USS Nimitz carrier strike group off the coast of Southern California. For 2 weeks, the advanced radar on the USS Princeton had been detecting bizarre objects. According to the sailors who were there, these things would pop up at 80,000 feet, drop to 20,000 feet in a few seconds to hover, and then just vanish. Things came to a head when Commander David Fravor, a decorated FA-18 pilot, was sent to check one out. As he and his wingman got closer, they looked down at the ocean and saw a disturbance on the surface. The water was churning as if something huge was moving just beneath it. Hovering erratically about 50 feet above that spot was a smooth, white, oblong object. No wings, no engines, no propellers. It looked, in Fravor's own words, like a giant Tic Tac. Fravor decided to spiral down for a closer look. As he did, the object started mirroring him, climbing to meet him. When Fravor cut across the circle to intercept it, the Tic Tac accelerated at a speed he'd never seen before and was gone in an instant. Seconds later, the USS Princeton picked it up on radar again, 60 miles away. If the radar is right, That object traveled 60 miles in less than a minute. A 2021 report from the Director of National Intelligence later noted that some of these UAP can move against the wind, maneuver abruptly, or travel at incredible speeds without any visible means of propulsion. The Tic Tac was gone, but so was the disturbance in the water. It had disappeared into the depths. If the Nimitz incident was a brief, confusing encounter, an event in 2019 gave us chilling video evidence. Leaked footage, which the Pentagon later confirmed as authentic, shows a dark, spherical object flying over the ocean near the USS Omaha. The ship's Combat Information Center recorded it on thermal video. You can see the object flying steadily before it starts to descend toward the water. Then, it just seems to slip into the ocean. The object was tracked as it went into the sea and disappeared. A submarine was immediately sent to search the area, but it found nothing. While the Pentagon has confirmed the video is real, it hasn't said what the object was, what it could do, or even officially confirmed it entered the water. But according to briefings that came out with the video, this wasn't a one-off event. At one point, the Omaha's radar was tracking up to 14 of these objects at the same time. They were reportedly zipping around at speeds up to 160 miles per hour, making turns that no balloon or simple drone could ever pull off. The official conclusion? The object is still unidentified. So what is really going on? And has the government been hiding what it knows? According to some former insiders and military witnesses, the answer is a simple yes. Many who have come forward claim the government has historically suppressed this reality, creating a culture of ridicule to discredit anyone who spoke up. It's a powerful allegation, though it's not something you'll find proven in any official, declassified file. Rear Admiral Gallaudet is one of the voices calling for more transparency. Others have talked about the urgent safety of flight issue, describing frantic warnings of numerous near mid-air collisions with these objects. The fear was that by punishing pilots who reported UAPs, the Department of Defense was ignoring a clear and present danger to its people. For a long time, reporting a UAP could be a career killer for a pilot. You might be sent for a psych evaluation, or just quietly taken off the flight roster. This culture of secrecy meant that for decades, priceless data was being lost or deliberately ignored. Only now, as the government officially acknowledges the phenomenon, is the true scale of what's been happening starting to emerge. And when we look back, we find this has been going on for a very, very long time. Long before the USS Nimitz or Omaha, there was Shag Harbour. On the night of October 4th, 1967, dozens of people in a tiny Canadian fishing village saw strange lights in the sky. Then, they watched as a large object, about 60 feet long, crashed into the harbor. Thinking it was a plane crash, they called the police. A massive search and rescue mission kicked off, with police, fishermen, and the Coast Guard. They found a bizarre yellow foam bubbling on the surface, but there was no wreckage, no bodies, and no oil slick. The Canadian military searched the seabed for days, but found absolutely nothing. In fact, official Canadian government documents from the time actually label the event as a UFO case, confirming they couldn't identify the object. And that's where the official story ends. But according to researchers who interviewed alleged insiders years later, the object didn't crash at all. These unproven accounts claim it actually traveled 25 miles underwater to a top-secret submarine detection base. Again, that part is pure legend, not backed by official records. But the Shag Harbour incident itself is one of the best documented USO cases in history, and it proves this mystery is nothing new. This long history has fueled all sorts of speculation, with some pointing to a place called Autech in the Bahamas, often nicknamed the Underwater Area 51. It's a real U.S. Navy lab for testing deep-sea technology, but its secrecy has sparked rumors that it's a place where alien tech is studied. Of course, there's zero proof for any of those wild claims. So what's the one thing that makes this all so hard to explain? It's the physics. Moving an object from thin air into dense water at high speed is an incredible challenge. Think about hitting the water in a belly flop. It hurts. Now imagine doing that at hundreds or thousands of miles per hour. The force would tear any normal craft to pieces. An effect called cavitation also creates a bubble of vapor that causes instability and massive drag. Right now, no public human technology can do what these witnesses describe. We have super cavitating torpedoes that can go fast underwater, but they're loud. They only go one way, and they definitely can't fly back out into the air. The experimental transmedium drones we're building are in their infancy and can't get anywhere near these reported speeds. Yet, the objects the Navy is seeing seem to master this air-to-water transition without any effort. Based on pilot testimony, they don't slow down, they don't make a big splash, and they don't lose performance. While we don't have perfect scientific measurements, these observations suggest a technology that is far beyond what we currently understand. For some researchers, this points directly to a non-human intelligence. The US government hasn't gone that far, but it hasn't been able to explain it either. The declassified videos, the radar hits, the testimony from decorated fighter pilots and admirals. It all paints a deeply puzzling picture. While talk of non-human intelligence is still just speculation, the evidence we do have is impossible to ignore. Official reports from the Director of National Intelligence and the Pentagon's AARO office admit that many of these phenomena are unexplained, pointing to a lack of good data. They haven't found proof of aliens, but they also haven't found simple explanations for the best cases. We're left with a series of credible reports and official videos of advanced craft operating in our skies and oceans, seemingly whenever they want. They appear to use a form of physics that is beyond us, a technology that could change the world. For decades, these sightings were pushed to the fringe. Today, they're being discussed in Congress and briefed in the Pentagon. The question is no longer if these things are real. The question is, what are they? Where do they come from? And what do they want? The secret is out. The mystery is just getting started. What do you think is lurking in our oceans? Are these sightings a new technology from another country, or something else entirely? Let us know your theories in the comments below. And if you want to dive deeper into the world's greatest mysteries, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Thanks for watching.